Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and I am about 90% back to normal. I found myself with one hell of a head cold this week, and boy, smoking on Monday for a Tuesday show, that wasn't happening. I could barely breathe that day. But thanks to some really good, Sudafed and other, the kind of you got to sign for and, promise you're not going to do meth with, that cleared me up. So I'm doing about, like I said, I'm about 90% back to normal. But today I am going to be talking to parishioner Shawn Beaudry. And Shawn, he won the trip to the Puro Sabor Nicaraguan Cigar Festival, courtesy of our friends at Villiger Cigars. And he won that trip at Pulpit Fest. It was the prize grand prize that Villiger Cigars generously donated, and Shawn won that. And so we're going to hear from Shawn all about his trip to Nicaragua and the festival, and then we'll go from there. So anyway, without further ado, my conversation with Shawn. And I'm joined by the world traveler himself, Shawn Beaudry. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, really well. It was a great trip. I can't wait to tell you about it.
So you made it out of Nicaragua alive. No prison time, right?
Well, I was in jail for a short time, but that was just for a photo op. That was a big concern with my wife. She didn't want me getting thrown into a communist country jail and everything. But at one of the farms, they had it was a cage. It was like a jail, but it had picnic tables in it. We were waiting for the buses. So I had one of the people, take a picture of me, like all sad. And I said, "Oh, here's your proof of life, send money,
That's always been my concern, is getting locked up abroad.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much me. It's always the company that I would be with, which, I mean, for longtime listeners of the show, you might know that there were definitely reasons for those concerns back in the day. Now I'm probably a little bit more safe, but anyway. So you were the big winner of the trip to the Puro Sabor Nicaraguan Cigar Festival, courtesy of Villiger Cigars at Pulpit Fest.
Yes, I was the winner. I was very excited. I mean, you had some great prizes, and Renee from Villiger really stepped it up last year and this year in offering this trip. I mean, it's a $2,500 trip, just for the event for the week. And I won it at Pulpit Fest, just buy a couple of boxes of cigars and get your chance, and you got to remember too, when you go to Pulpit Fest, you're not talking about 1,000 people hoping for their chance. You have a small group of 30 people. I mean, what was the final total?
I think we capped tickets at 50. So I mean, between VIPs and general admission, I mean,
and not everyone bought the Villiger cigars, but us who did, we had a great opportunity, and top notch. Thank you again to Villiger for sponsoring and having such a great prize. That was fabulous. And then we'll get into it later, but they treated me very well when we went to the factory and everything.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Excellent. Well, now speaking of Villiger, before we get too far into this, for those of you who are listening to this and not watching this, I am on the tail end of my head cold, very tail end. And so I am not going to be smoking today. However, Shawn is smoking. And what have you got, Shawn?
When we went to Villiger, I figured since we all were there, they gave me a pre-release. This might be coming out at PCA or later this year. It's a Nicaraguan.
Look at you bragging. Yeah,
I know. Anyways, I had 2 of them already, so I figure I have another one tonight. But it's a pre-release SA VDN sample. So, anyways, it was.
And you don't know anything about it. You just know.
Well, just from tasting, and I was picking his brain when I was there. I think we know it's Nicaraguan.
Okay.
and I don't know the whole binder and filler. It was reminiscent of the 1888, but I don't think it was the or newer San Andreas with the red label.
Yeah.
It's something along that line, because I think it's because it's box pressed that it was. Yeah, that's the way maybe why I was thinking, but it had a different flavor. It had something extra to it. So I
Okay.
don't know. I don't think it's Sumatra, but because I know
You don't taste the
Mr.
yuck?
I don't think the yuck, but it was it was the same medium strength and that. But I just cut it,
All
and
right.
I'm
Well,
going to
speaking
like.
of which,
Oh, good.
the cut is brought to you by
Oh,
twoguyscigars.com. That's the number two, guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, twoguyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So head on over to twoguyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number two, guyscigars.com. So there we go.
two guys. Are you getting the collector cards? I think they mentioned you the other day that you had a little FOMO. Yeah.
Of course. Look, what about me? Look at my house. I mean,
Yep.
you've all seen my garage with the boxes and everything else of comics. When Dave says, I have a set of cigar trading cards and I'm going to put out one, blah, 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 blah. I mean, way to just take my collector mentality and pluck it
Take
like
my
a
money.
guitar. I mean, he just played me like a fiddle right there. So yeah, of course, I ended up getting the first one, and then I'm watching the meatball, and what happens at the meatball? Oh, there's an entire set of cigars from the meatball, and guess what? It comes with another card that you can only get by order. And I'm like, you ass. Every time you put out a freaking pack this year, there's going to be another one of those cigars. And my cigar budget for the year is going to have to increase exponentially in order to make sure I don't miss one because it's going to be like Pokemon. I got to catch them all. And so here we are. So yes, I have the cards.
Nice. So for the first set, I was watching live on the show where they announced it. I forgot what it was. By the two of the packs, I think it was $100 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it
Anyways,
was
I'm like,
like $59 for one or 100 for two.
ooh, yeah. So anyways,
Yeah.
I'm like, I go on there and I'm like, well, that price doesn't match up. It was $40 for a pack.
You were one of the ones.
I was, and I clicked that, and it's like, should I say something? And then I put in the chat, I go, hey, just to let anybody know, if you act quickly, you can get it for $39.99. Add it to your cigar of the month shipment, free shipping. This is a real good deal. And then they came back from commercial, and you could just see Dave just all like
Oh, yeah.
frustrated, like. Yeah, well, we're going to have to fire somebody. No, we're not going to fire somebody. He's like, oh my God, you lost $40 on this car. I don't know how many
They
people.
may not have been fired. They may have just been beaten within an inch of their life. There's a fine line.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Actually,
No.
speaking of ordering from there,
Yeah.
their staff is excellent. When you call an order, I went up. Just friendly. I had my credit card. I had some false stuff on it, so they sent me a new credit card, and I wasn't sure what credit card I had on the auto pay and everything. And he was just super nice. Oh no, your shipment wouldn't have came out if we had got bounced back, but we would have called you and everything, and just super. And he goes, well, would you like to add anything else to your order? Just that salesmanship. So they're trained well, and it wasn't like an inconvenience calling them. They were like welcoming. Sometimes you call, what do you want? And everything. But anyways, just a kudos to
That guy's
if you're
gone.
ordering.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. So, every time I've ever dealt with the staff up there with the website, and be it Ed or anybody else, they've always been super accommodating and great. Hell, Ed, I I don't want to admit. So, all right, it's kind of a long explanation, but the long and short of it is, as a small business owner, at the beginning of the month, I write myself a check, I pay my bills out of it, and I kind of live off that money for the month. Well, the money for the cigar of the month thing comes out on what, the 20th?
20th.
So
Yeah.
sometimes the funds might be running low. I maybe have to go to the bank and throw a supplement check in there to like kind of boost my personal account up. Well, I had my debit card on file with them. And so what would happen is I'd get the little love note from Ed and I'd wake up on, the 21st and I'd have the little email from, Ed Santa Maria saying, "Hey, so your card didn't go through." And so then I'd have to go to the bank, put the money in, email him back, be like, "I'm sorry, Ed, it's good now." And then he runs it and everything's fine. I hate to admit how
Yep.
many times that had to happen, but it's all square now. It's all good now. But anyway,
Good.
but my point is they're super responsive and super easy to work with.
Exactly. And it's like
Yep.
you can order one cigar, whatever, to add it to the cigar of the month. So that alone on
Oh,
shipping that you're
yeah.
changing, so it's like getting the cigars for free.
I'm
Yeah.
not getting my meatball pack until the next box arrives, It's like I
Yeah.
just kind of over the month, if something comes up, I just tack it on and they just hang on to it and then I get a nice little box in the mail. So it works out well.
Yeah. Well, I'm caught up on my cigars for the month. After the trip to Nicaragua, we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
you can take 100 cigars back with you. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, so
So
you had to be a little selective as to what you were bringing back then.
well, no, everything that the gifts and everything that they give, and then
Yeah,
at night they give you cigars, and sometimes you're only smoking one, and you'll have two more, so those
that's true.
all add up.
And
So I was
100,
under
that's like 5 boxes. I mean, that's actually a fair amount of cigars now that I think about it.
it is. I mean,
Yeah.
for 5 days,
Yeah. Yeah.
that, and plus you're smoking the whole time too. So, but yeah. So, anyways, I talked to Hank, back in the early fall, and kind of got a rundown on everything. And as I work for the airline, so I was able to fly for free. But the thing didn't really start till Sunday night, and I'm like, oh, let's just play whatever. Of course, there's weather, and everyone's getting that weird ass weather and
Yeah.
storms and everything. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go Friday, and I looked at the hotel, and it was like $100 a night, included breakfast. So yeah, so
Dang, you
it's
can't
like,
even get
okay,
that in the States unless you're going to some flea bag.
exactly. And it was a
Yeah.
nice hotel and everything. So got in there Friday night. I'm looking, I'm the type of guy that in Vegas, that'll say, oh yeah, the casino's right there. It may be, it looks close, but it isn't. So I'm
Yeah.
looking at the map and it's like, oh, it's 1 mile. And I'm like, do I want to walk through a country I've never been to? At 10 o'clock at night. So I
No.
jumped in a taxi, and I didn't have any of the what are their dollars, Calabros or something. Anyways, I didn't have any of that. And I'm like, oh shit, because I was going to exchange when I got there. And then the guy goes, I go, yeah, can I get a taxi? I'm going to, this hotel. And he's like, yeah. So I get out and I'm like, well, how much? It's not like it's an Uber where it's going to come out. I gave him a $10 bill and he's like, thank you. This is awesome.
You
So
probably just gave him like $3,000 of his own money. I don't know. I don't know what the exchange rate is. I shouldn't say that.
no, I mean, I think it's, what was it? 35 Nicaraguan dollars per American dollar. So,
So okay, so you gave him like $350.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which would,
Which
I
I
don't know,
guess,
be able to get you a chicken dinner. I don't
I was
know.
gonna say,
So,
Lord only knows what
but
that
anyways,
gets you.
yeah. And then of course, my Spanish, my 1 year of high school Spanish,
Oh,
walking around, ¿Cómo es biblioteca? Nobody knew where the library was. So that was pretty much, I know. I didn't
the
have them.
AirPods, bud.
I know.
Would have been the best purchase you could have made. You don't have an iPhone though, do you?
I have an iPhone, but I don't have
Okay.
AirBuds.
Well, then you should have gone to buy some before you left. Because I'm telling you, the
I know.
instant translation thing. Oh,
I just want to be immersed in the culture.
okay. I want to be able to understand what's going
Yeah.
on.
But
So
the people in Managua all spoke English. I mean, everyone in
Okay.
the tourist industry. So went and checked in, and it was like, get to bed. Oh, and of course, what did I listen to on the way down? I got caught up on all the Cigar Pulpits, and of course, the Monkeys
Oh
came up.
yeah, that's right. The four
Yeah.
monkeys.
So yeah. So, and I think I told you about my dream that
Yeah.
happened. And I get there, I'm laying in bed. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to find a channel or what. So I watched the original, not the original Planet of the Apes, but the other one with the guy from New England, from
Oh,
Boston.
the Tim Burton version with Marky Mark.
Marky Mark, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm watching that and I'm like, oh, you gotta be shitting me. I go, freaking monkeys.
yeah.
What
Monkeys.
happened?
Yep.
Monkeys. It's no. So I watched that. Next day, got up and I had a basically free day Saturday. So they had you know how pools can be deceiving, like only 4 foot and everything.
Yeah.
They had a deep end. I mean, it was great. And then they had American, sports on and everything. And then other people started trickling in and everything. So kind of hung out with the group. They're like, "Oh, you by yourself?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, come join us." They had all the booze out and everything. So we just kind of just sat and
Don't have to
BS.
tell you twice. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was good days. And then Saturday, and then Sunday, I think, was the main day. That was another day of watching playoff football and just hanging out, smoking cigars and sitting by the pool, jump in the pool. And the weather was perfect. It was like in the 80s. So yeah,
Okay.
it was nice. So, and then that night they had the welcome dinner and everything. So everyone was able to go get their packets. So part of the cost of the thing, you get. You got for the white party, you got a white. What do they call Gabadora shirts?
Yeah, I know
Gabba,
what you're talking
yeah,
about.
the white shirt, and of
Yeah,
course they
kind of
asked
loose
before,
and loose and light, with the
yeah,
pockets.
cotton with the two
Yeah,
pockets.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
So even though you sent your sizes beforehand, yeah, I get it. And I'm like, as soon as I opened it up, and I'm like, oh, what's this?
yeah.
And
I know that. I know
so
that
I go,
feeling.
so you get it on, and I could have used my nipples for buttonholes because that's
Yep.
as far. I go, hey, do you have a one size up or maybe three
Maybe
sizes
four.
bigger? Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I got a extra large, which is basically a Nicaraguan or a U.S. medium. So my wife has a new shirt,
Oh,
and
there you go.
yeah, and they gave it a bottle of rum right off the bat, and then they give you this beautiful. If it shows up, here it goes.
Ooh.
Really nice. It's a humidor, but
Oh,
inside
okay.
they had a cigar each of. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to
Okay.
get
No, no,
that.
no.
And
Yeah.
it
Oh, wow. So it like extends
it
out with the
slides out. So
trays.
you have
Yeah.
18 all different cigars, all branded with a footband of Puro Sabor, and
Very
it has
cool.
every member of the, I don't know if it's Chamber of Commerce or the trade group, whatever. So it was all their cigars. So you're good. And then that night they had like a welcome dinner and everything, and they had music and drinks and everything going on. You walk in, you got two Villiger 1888 Robustos. So you
Okay.
got that. And you had a dinner. It was the food. It was good, and everything, but I was being cautious because somebody said, "Don't eat the lettuce because they wash it with the water, which might, but
Yeah.
be good." But the food, yeah, I mean, it's steak, chicken, rice and beans, some kind of potato, plantains, but the desserts are always good. So I mean, I did low carb without trying. So
There you
it was,
go.
yeah. So, anyways, I had the food. Then when you left, Rocky Patel had theirs. They had the Emerald and their Nicaraguan cigar. And they, if you look at the pictures, of the beautiful women, those are ones they hired, the models,
Okay.
to work and everything. So I'm like, do I take two? One of each? And she goes, no, just one. And I'm like, oh, so I took the emerald and because I knew I liked that. And so, anyways, and
Yeah.
then we kind of sat around. They had different drinks. One of the famous, or not famous, but the people really gravitated. It was like a watermelon drink with rum in it, but you couldn't really it wasn't overpowering the rum, but it was watermelon. They always ran out every function, so you had to get there early, get your
Get the
watermelon drink.
watermelon. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what they called it, but it was all right. It was good. And then we just basically hung out that night. Then the next day, so it was Sunday, Monday they had breakfast, and then you got on the bus to go to Granada. So Granada it's on Lake Nicaragua, and that's where El Tepe. What's the volcano island that has the tobacco? Anyways, it's
Okay.
that lake that it's on. Went down there. We finally, it took like a little over an hour, I guess, to get down there. And then we come up, and Hank said, you're going to go on a boat ride. I'm thinking it's going to be like one of these big party boats, but they had these little side by side canoes. It was like one person on one side, one the other side. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go out, go around the islands and everything. And I'm like, oh, are we getting cigars? Oh, no, you'll get them at lunch. So it's like, shit. Okay. So we did the little boat ride. And as we're going around the lakes, all these little islands, I think, I forgot how many hundreds of little islands, and they'll have a single house on there, which was cool. And
so not to interrupt, I know about some of those islands because if you recall, this is a throwback to a way back. My COVID plan was to buy an island and have my own private island and basically establish my own country. And Niconia or whatever I call it. And I'd have my trade relay, but I'd have my own little sovereign island. And if you recall, I found one for sale off the coast of Nicaragua it was 5 acres. I feel like it was 5 acres for about, I think it was $475,000. And it had a house, it had an airstrip, it had a couple of other little buildings on it. I think that what I found in researching it is that it either was owned or was previously owned by Nicolas Cage. And so it's like, okay, but then I was thinking, I'm like, but then I would be part of Nicaragua. I wouldn't be sovereign. I'd be part of Nicaragua. So I passed. But anyway, no, I know about those islands with the little building.
All those islands. It was neat just to see like a single house, or there'll be a restaurant bar, on this island, and that's it. I mean, we're talking maybe, I don't know, 4,000 square foot islands, and they're just all over the place because it's all volcanic, little things. And we're going by one of the islands, and what's up in the tree? Monkeys.
More they're following you now.
I know. So that was the thing.
That's pretty cool, though.
It was, and I chuckled, and I tried getting a picture, and like, oh my god, I can't get away from these damn St. Louis monkeys.
Now, see, when you see 4 monkeys and a goat, that's when you've encountered the crew. Yes. So yeah.
So we went back, and they had a lunch there. Who was it? I know Perdomo had cigars, and anyways, another typical lunch, and you just kind of met different people that you met on the main bus coming down. Yeah. What was it? 1502 Cigars.
Okay.
I see them around, but I just never really gravitate towards them. You were talking about that. Oh, it's a good cigar.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, there's one that it's like, it's there. Just just not something that really
build that brand, But anyways, we smoked. I did anyways. The Perdomo. I think they had champagne, so it was up in my wheelhouse.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then afterwards, they brought you back to the hotel, which was good. Anyways, there was a little mix up with my hotel, and they put me in the old monastery, which is a hotel now, which was cool. I mean, it was just a hotel, and it was me and one other guy from Paris, and he has a cigar magazine for France. So anyways, the next morning we get to the hotel and then they had a dinner. I went walking around and figured out the main hotel that everybody else was at was 2 blocks away. And it's short blocks, so it's basically, I don't know, 300 feet away around the corner. But anyways, felt safe. Well, funny. So I'm walking out. The bell, or not the bellhop, but the desk person, came out, and he goes, "Oh, you can go for a walk." And I'm like, in perfect English. And I said, yes, I am. I go, is it safe? He goes, well, we usually have one murder a day, every other day. And I'm like, oh, and he goes, oh, but don't worry, the guy was killed this morning already. So, and
So
I'm
you're
like,
good.
looking at it, he goes, I gotcha.
Ah.
Yeah. And I'm like, so anyways, went through their little, they had a lot of market. It's a poor country. And
Yeah.
I kick myself. They had the Nicaraguan national baseball jerseys. They were selling them. And one of the biggest industries is the textiles. So,
Oh,
so it was $12. And
yeah.
it's like I didn't get it, but anyways, but then ran into the guys I met at the first night and everything. They were sitting outside in the they had a street closed off for all motor vehicles, so we just sat around and shot the shit and smoked cigars. And they, of course, they were well stocked with booze. So, and
Well,
one of the
yeah,
guys
because Florida
was
Canya, right? Because Florida Canya, they do a lot of sponsoring of
was a
this and everything.
major. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they had their bourbons. Then one guy, I don't know how many gallons of Screwball. It's a peanut butter whiskey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
was that's
So
not that wasn't provided there, right? Did they bring that?
no, this was just yeah. At the as soon as you get off the plane, they have a duty free store, so you can buy
Okay.
whatever you want. And so he bought a ton of that, but it's a little sweet for my takes. But to be
No.
sipping on it, it was fine. So
No.
yeah.
Um, yeah, no. Peanut butter whiskey. That's always been something that I remember when that came out, and I remember thinking like, boy, that just doesn't sound appealing at all. But what do I know? I'm not much of a
It's
drinker, so it's like,
me neither. So
yeah.
it was fine. Then that night they had like a welcome to Granada party, with the band and dancers and everything. And then I ended up sitting with uh, what was he? He was the president of Banco de Nicaragua or whatever. And we're sitting there talking, and his cousin was starting a cigar brand that they're bringing to the U.S. So talked to him for a little while. So it was interesting. And then everyone was gathering around this one guy. And I'm like, oh, who's that? And he's like, oh, that's the guy from Hoya, and
Mm,
he goes, do you want to meet him? I'm like, I'm not a fanboy, no, that's fine. Thank you though. I'd rather have a
yeah.
conversation here with you. And so, and who else was there? I saw, oh, what's his name? Skip Martin from
Yeah.
uh,
Romacraft.
Robocraft. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, saw him, just said hey, and basically went to bed, and then the
Now,
next day they did.
how many attendees would you say there were total? Like, I mean, I don't know how many tickets they actually sell, and
Yeah, we're trying to do the rough count. So they had three buses of 70. So I'm guessing like 210 people, mostly multinational.
yeah,
There was a couple groups that came like from oh, what was it? Las Vegas. They had all had the matching shirts and everything. So you kind of knew who they were.
yeah.
But I mean, people from all over the world. I forgot how many nations, like I know 17 different nations, so
That's
it
cool.
was yeah. And then then the next morning you had your group. Everyone, when you sign up, you get, whatever group for the cigar factory and that. So our small group, we did a tour of Granada, stopped at some churches, little history about the town, and the Spaniards coming and everything. And
Well, that's what I've kind of heard is that
that was good. And then we had a
they introduce a lot of the Nicaraguan like culture and history in this tour as well. That it's not
mhm.
all just cigars and rum. They try to like give you a little bit of tourism of the actual country as well.
Yeah, and that was the main stop for Granada.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the history. And then a couple groups said, oh, we really don't want to do a city tour, but we would love to go up on top of the volcano. And then it's like, okay, so they diverted and did that. So which
Kind of cool.
our tour guide was from Granada and everything. So, anyways, so when the parishioners, Richard Lord.
Yeah.
So he before I went down, he goes, "Hey, I'm going to be there too." He was panicked because I went early and he was flying in on Sunday and everything. So
Oh
we ended up
no.
on the same bus, for the
Oh,
small
that's
groups and
cool.
everything. So uh, yeah, and yeah,
That's
so we
nice.
took that one
Parishioners are
picture
meet.
we posted of.
I love that. Parishioners meeting
I
up
know.
together in foreign countries. This is fun. But that's also how
Yeah,
international incidents are created. So I'm glad that neither one of you ended up in
no,
prison.
Richard is very low key. He's a lawyer. Did you know that? I guess he might have said it, but I'm like, "Are you still in practice or you're retired?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm still in practice." He goes, "I'm just backed up from COVID, And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." I go, "What if something happens?" Because he spent a week in South America, and then he was going to stay another week also. So I think he should be coming back to the States this week. So
Oh my
he ended up
gosh.
staying at the Airbnb of our tour guide. So
Mm.
yeah, so yeah. So it's fun meeting up with him and um seeing him. So he was on the same bus, but like I said, there was all different nationalities and everything. So and then at that dinner that night, I sat with the president, and then I found out the head of the Nicaraguan Cigar Tourism Board is the president or brother-in-law of the president of Nicaragua. And I'm like, oh, little nepotism there. So, and they gave a little
Yeah.
talk along with every time, they had the mayors and that. So, but it was good. That was a good first night. And then, the next day it was more tours. Went to a chocolate factory where, they kind of did the history of the cocoa bean and
Okay.
everything, and you got to mash it, and they gave us some tea, and then they actually made some chocolate, which was horrible. I don't like dark chocolate.
Oh.
I just don't like it. So we finished up that, and then one of the we had people from Belgium and Switzerland on the thing, and the lady from Switzerland, he goes, "Here, have some good chocolate." She handed out Swiss chocolates that she brought with
Oh
her,
my.
so it was kind of neat. But it was, yeah, mm-hmm, yeah.
That's fun. So,
What else was I going to
little,
say?
little chocolate
Oh,
break there. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Oh,
little chocolate break, and then
yeah.
we did like a museum and stuff. So we had the culture and everything. And that night, of course, we had another dinner. And then the next day, we were supposed to have our bags out at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I brought my bags down. We'll be back at 8:30 to pick you up. So me and the little French guy we finished up breakfast, and we're like, and his English was as good as my French, and he's like, are they coming? It was starting, it's 9 o'clock. I
Oh
walked up to the other
no.
hotel to see if anybody was around. Nobody around. And came back to the hotel. I go, "Hey, can you contact these people? Because we were supposed to be picked up 45
Yeah.
minutes ago." And
They forgot you.
they're like, "Yep. Okay. Yep." They forgot. So they sent a taxi over. The guy comes rushing down and everything. So everyone else has been sitting on this bus for an hour and a half, and we get off, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Okay, let's go." And they're, of course, some of the people knew who I was. Like, "What the hell? Where you been?" I'm like, "I'm just glad they waited for me, because it's a 4 hour drive up to Esteli here." So they
Yeah.
gave me shit, and of course, usually you try to, the buses are tight. Ended up sitting next to the guy. I'm sitting sideways and everything. My back started aching, so I sat next to or I stood up, behind in front of the shitter on the back of my seat, so just to get some stretching out, just because it was just painful. So, but we got up there, and then have you ever heard of what is it, Victor Carvel? Carvel? Victor Carvel. Anyways,
No.
it's probably a brand. They just grow tobacco. Anyways, went to their farm and had a lunch there. I mean, it was good. They gave us more cigars, of course, and then we're getting back on the bus, and they're kind of doing the checklist, and who's missing? Richard Lord. And it's
Oh
like, okay,
no.
well, maybe he went to the bathroom. Yeah, so we couldn't find him. Finally, somebody walked in. So this giant curing barn is one of the biggest ones I saw. There he is, just sitting all by himself, nobody else in the barn, just having a cigar, just taking it all in. So we called him the Wandering Lord, you know. So we got him on. So of course the ball busting begins. So Richard, if you're listening, we love you, and hopefully you made it out of Nicaragua. So and didn't get lost. Yeah.
Oh,
So then,
that's
anyways, we
funny.
finally get to Esteli. Esteli is like I don't know. It's not a big town by any means. It's developed, you know, and everything. But the hotels, I mean, you're not finding a Marriott or anything. They're all the outside looks like shit, but you open the doors and it's like beautiful marble and courtyards and everything. So you know, the hotels were good. And then that night we had JC Newman dinner, and he's the nicest guy. It's just,
Oh,
he
yeah.
just,
It was
which
Eric,
Newman was
right?
it? Eric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Eric was there, and he just was, you know, oh, thanks for coming. You know, it's just super nice and everything. So that was a good night. And then we went back, and then the next day we start more to the small groups. We went to Placencia. So you know, you had the makers of the cigars and, you know, the actual, you know, head of these companies and everything. But Nestor is a farmer.
Yeah.
100%. You know, so we first, you know, they drop us off. Of course, you get cigars right away and water and everything. And he just kind of, then we go to the fields and then, so one of the cigars I like is, every year or every 2 years, they have the Conseco. It says 149 or
Yeah,
150.
yeah, yeah.
That's the year of the crop, which I guess I didn't realize at the time. So, you know, so anyways, you know, learned that. But this guy loves manure. So they have a special program where they're working with some university where they take the food scraps and worms and they do, you know, they're trying to, you know, because the manure is so good, it cuts down on all the, you know, the diseases and everything. So they don't have to use pesticides. So actually, overall, that was probably the best farm tour because he was just so passionate about it. And then he had a microscope and he pulls it up, you know, that's all good stuff, you know, and just, it was educational in that. So,
Yeah.
so we're on the, get on the bus and, you know, you have the same, I don't know, I think it's 15 or 18 people. And all of a sudden there's a new guy on the bus. And, you know, and of course, me being shy, I'm like, so
Yeah.
who the hell are
You
you?
shy.
Yeah, and he like looks, and then he's looking at the tour guide and everything, you know, the back and forth. I go, are you know, are you being human trafficked here? You know, what's wrong? He's the new sales rep for Cigar Aficionado.
Oh,
So he
okay.
was brand new to the magazine and everything. So he was, I don't know if he was supposed to be doing an interview with Nestor or something, or just getting the whole Puro Sabor thing. So, anyways, so me and Nestor were talking on the way back, and he was like walking, and I go, "Hey, I have a great idea. Next year, you could participate in Puro Sabor and take your top 5 cigars, and we'll blind test them. That'd be a great little event, you know, for you, you know." And
There
he's
you go.
like, no, I don't think I can do that. Nestor starts laughing. He's like, but I forgot that, you know, the day before we ended up going to AJ's, I don't know, farm, I guess. And that's where they did that coffee pairing, which was, it was
Okay.
pretty cool. The thing was, yeah, so they were telling them the difference. You know, it's better to have whole beans and crush them fresh. And, you know, they're talking about drip versus French press and, you know, cappuccino and everything. And we had this New World cigar, Nicaraguan. And, anyways, we each got my row, each got like a little quarter of a cup of cold coffee. They didn't make the other ones. So we just kind of sat back and, you know, had our cigars and talked and everything. And, so on the way out, I'm like, oh, I'm almost done the cigar. So I asked one of the people working the gate, I go, hey, since we missed out on the coffee, can I get another cigar for later? And she goes, you didn't get your coffee? And she just takes off to yell at somebody. And it's like,
Oh
oh, I wasn't
no.
the only one here. You know, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
So,
no.
so, so, yeah, somebody, you know, who knows? But,
Did you get
but
another
on Thursday,
cigar?
I don't think so. I
Oh,
don't think
dude.
so because they were all out. Yeah. it's that dry bag thing. But
I get it. Hey, you gotta
but
look, man. Shoot your shot.
if you don't ask, you don't get, right?
Exactly. This isn't the same as PCA, where I kind of feel a
Mhm.
little like weird about asking. This is
Yeah,
this is
you don't ask. They're supposed
yeah.
to offer, and I kind of took it as
Exactly.
that.
This is a tourism courtesy thing. This is a shoot your shot. I go for it. I don't have any issue with
Yeah.
that. But yeah.
No, but since when we were at the factory, we ended up back at the rolling. They have a beautiful facility. I mean, very modern. You see the extremes in the different factories. Other ones are like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is bad. This was well lit, a beautiful building, wide open. They had a school for the kids and everything there. And then after we're done, they had I don't know, a charcuterie du jour, this like 12-foot. I mean, there's only 18 of us. I don't believe the amount of food that they had, all charcuterie stuff. And then they gave
Yeah.
us little gift bags afterwards that had the pack of cigars. What are you see the people wear? I'm not a hat guy, and of
Okay.
course it wouldn't fit over my melon, but what are those hats? The cigar rollers. They all wear. Anyways, they gave us
I
one of
don't
those
know.
hats that says Placentia, and then they had, you know what I'm talking about, the cigar hats, they're called, kind of.
I probably do. I can't think off the
Anyways,
top of my
sorry.
head as to what it would be.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. And they gave us the
Okay.
honey, locally sourced honey. So they just treated us really good, and Oh, and then they had the little kids come give us the bags and call their names and everything,
Aw.
and also a Placencia T-shirt and everything, which was my size, which I was happy about.
There
So
you go. There you
I was
go.
able to
It's nice.
get my double X neck around it. But
Hey,
and
as
then
somebody
after
who's
we
been
left
there,
there,
done that, you unroll the shirt and you look at it and you're like, yeah, this might fit a leg, but it's not gonna fit,
yeah,
me,
that's it.
then
But
it's like,
anyways, it
yeah,
fit.
I know.
And then after that, they had scheduled for everybody. Went to Placencia. I don't know, another, I don't know, area that they had, and we had lunch there. They gave us more cigars, and what was the thing there? Because they always tried to do something like a whiskey pair, or I'm not whiskey, but a rum pairing. Music, they had everything. But yeah, I can't remember what that one was. But anyways, it was good. I'm just kind of looking lunch there, and then afterwards we go to Villiger. So
Okay.
Villiger is like right in town. It's you're like, okay, where is it? We didn't do a farm feed because they just source their tobacco, but you walk into
Yeah.
this beautiful brand. They just opened it like 2 years ago, I guess. So it's a beautiful like
Um,
office building and
and two
warehouse.
or three. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, big, beautiful building. Anyways, come walking in, and the roller or the blender that we met last year at PCA,
But
Yusuf.
Yusef Reyes, I think was his name. We looked it up before.
Yusuf.
We went
Yeah,
through this
I know.
before we record, and
Yeah,
I think
I
it like
know. It was.
Yasser Ray, right? Oh God, yeah. I distinctly remember butchering his name at PCA, so it doesn't shock me that I'm butchering. Yeah, Yasser Reyes. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Mr.
butchered it at
Rays.
PCA, and I'm
Anyways, he's
continuing the
walking in.
tradition here.
So we're all walking in and everything, and he goes, "You're Shawn." And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, Renee said that you're coming, and welcome. Thank you for your support of Villiger." And I go, "No, thank you," and everything. So they brought us upstairs to like a large, not conference room. It was like a lounge slash conference room, and give us water and cigars. They had the La Capitan and these.
Okay.
So we had a lot of Connecticut people in our group, so they gravitated to that, and I gravitated to the box pressed to be named later.
Yeah.
So so we just set up there and talked for a little bit, and they took us through the factory. The factory is very, the influence of German ingenuity. It was very processed, and we kind of went through the whole, the bales, the conditioning of the leaves, the sorting, and then, went through everything. And then, okay, this is what was always all the rollers in Nicaragua were bunching, when they're doing the cigar and everything. So of course me, the Cuban way is in two bar. And so I go, well, what's the difference? And, the guy's like, no real difference. And he goes, here, I'll show you, and then he went through and did the process of bunching. He goes, and then in two bar, I go, oh, you're making a taco, so anyways, he did that. And then one guy was, in our group was really in the rollers. I mean, that is a skill, once they make sure that there's no soft spots and everything, it gets passed along. And then, and he was from Belgium, and the girl goes, do you want to try? And he's like, yes, I don't want to miss that. So she's sitting there and she's doing it. They did torpedo, and she walked me through it.
The hardest vitola for somebody to do is we're gonna give the new guy to try this off. Oh, that's funny.
But okay. And it came out. It was beautiful, and I'm like, wow, you really did a good job. I go, it was her hands, basically telling me what to do and everything. I go, well, it turned out good. So he had that, and then we went upstairs and.
There's a life lesson for every male. Her hand should tell you what to do.
Exactly.
All right. So you went upstairs.
We went back upstairs, and they gave us gifts, which they were probably one of the most generous group. So they had custom-made boxes made.
Wow.
Puro Sabor, and then guess who's been smoking? But inside the La Capitan lighter and cutter and everything, and then those cigars. And then they also gave a Villiger Nicaraguan pack.
Ooh.
So I had all their cigars that they're rolling this year, the La Capitan, the 1888, Villiger Selection. And then, have you had the Villiger 1888 San Andreas?
So
it's a red. Okay.
No, wait a minute. Wait, is that the Grand Reserva? Yeah. What shit? Yeah. So that was in the VIP pack at Pulpit Fest.
I couldn't remember if I had it because it just stood out as something different because of the red label.
That was in the VIP packet,
correct?
That was in the I believe so. Yes, but that was in the VIP pack at Pulpit Fest last year. That premiered at PCA.
Anyway,
They came out with that at PCA last year. That and the Capitan. Those two were the premieres at PCA last year. So
okay. So the La Capitan, I mean, they were doing all production of that. So I think that is taking off big time. I mean,
it's
to be a medium.
It's a great cigar. It's a Connecticut with a little bit more spice and punch to it. And I have found that it pairs absolutely wonderful with my coffee in the morning. So I smoke the shit out of that with the coffee in the morning.
Yeah, if I was a coffee drinker, that'd be awesome. But it goes well with my Diet Pepsi.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
So we did a port wine tasting also with the whatever cigar we ended up having again. So that was something different. Wine is very difficult to pair with the cigar, but he did a good job, of doing that. So. And then that night was
talk to Ken at the
white party.
Talk to Ken at the Ashenale about pairing wine with cigars because, he since he only has wine and beer at his place, he has to get creative with the pairing. So he can help you out with that.
Yeah.
All right. So then the white party.
Actually, it was a very white party. Yeah.
No.
I ended up.
There's a slight delay. So, I'm sorry if I'm tripping over you and everything, but no. So what? I'm sorry. I didn't know where you going. So wherever you want to go.
Okay, I was going with the white party. So before I
Okay.
went, I was just going to wear a white short, in a pair of shorts and everything. So my wife goes, "No, you can't. It's a white party. You need white shoes, white pants, white shirt." I'm going to look like a giant marshmallow. And I actually did. But anyways, I think I sent you a picture of the white. But yeah, so it was a great party. More cigars that night. Um, so it was good. I keep on saying it was good. Yeah, I mean the parties. It was this was more industry people. I mean it jumped up
Yeah.
to, I don't know, 500 or 600 people. So that was just a lot. And it's like, okay. And then after all day running around, I didn't stay late for that. I got the shuttle back to the hotel and got some sleep. So the next day was the final day before the formal party that night. So we went to Rocky's factory, and talking about we did went to the factory because it's right in Esteli. A little older because they were supposed to open up a brand new facility with a hospital or a clinic and daycare and everything like that, which was supposed to open up in the summer. So I asked, Nimish was our guide, and so as soon as you get there, you know all the cigars and had snacks and everything before we did the little tour. But I asked him, I go, "So are you still on schedule to open up this summer?" And he goes, "Fuck no." We are not doing anything because we might be kicked out of here depending on the government and everything. So we're not investing anything. We're just going to continue, doing what we're doing. But I saw the plans on
That's
Half
interesting.
Wheel. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it sounds like a great facility and everything." He goes, "Yeah, it will be if things change and we feel more secure." So, but they have the other Placencia factory that they roll and everything in Honduras, which is, I don't know, I think it's like 30 miles right over the border. Well, you got to remember Honduras and Nicaragua are butt up against each other and everything.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
So we did that. Oh, well, little inside trading information that you probably already knew, but
I love inside stuff.
So a lot of the rollers, yeah, so a lot of rollers had All Saints, St. Francis bibs on, kind of, the what are they called? Like smocks and everything. And I'm like, I go, "Hey, what happened with All Saints and everything?" He goes, "Well, Mickey sold out to Cigar Page." I go, "No, I missed that information. I was just wondering because their cigars taste different now. It's not as flavorful, I guess." And he goes, "Yeah, we quit rolling for him as soon as he sold and everything. So somebody else is rolling for him. So, or rolling for Cigar Page for his St. Francis cigars." So I thought it was interesting.
I hadn't heard any of that. I mean, I last I knew, last I knew, Mickey was hiking the Appalachian Trail. That's all. That's all
he has
seen.
money and time now.
That's all I've seen out of Mickey Payne.
So
he's hiking the Appalachian Trail. So
so there's definitely a change in the cigars, because I actually had to go back after I came back. I had one newer that came in the mail not too long ago, and an old box, and it's like, it's different, So,
okay.
But anyways, interesting to know. I didn't know. So got out to the farm, and
news to me.
I'm like, well, you heard it first from the pulpit. So
say we're hearing the gossip here. Okay.
And then we ended up out at the Rockies farm, and that it's called something else. Tavis USA or something. Anyway, so we ended up out there. I was a little worried because remember I was saying down at I don't know if I said this on air or not, but down at Smoke This down in Miami that I went to.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're sitting in the lounge the night before, and Nimish was there, but he was doing work. I get it, and we tried making small talk about the Packers or something, and he was just kind of dickish, or not dickish. That's not nice. Just kind of not engaging, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, okay, what's this going to be like? Is he going to be irritating, whatever? But anyways, he was having fun. He was, talking. So we're in the thing, and he goes, "Hey, Shawn, you should wear this tonight." And he took a bundle of tobacco leaves and stuck it on so it looked like I had dreads hanging down. So he was goofing around and everything. So it was fun. And then one of the people that he had his factory lady, Maris. Anyway, she came down and I'm like, I was at their factory in 2017. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and I pulled up my phone and I go, "Hey, is this you?" And she goes, "Oh my God, yes, that was like 10 years ago." And I'm like, so anyways, reconnected with her and everything. And so
That's
it
cool.
was fun. It was good. Yeah. And then the other one, we went to that Victor Clavo factory, Calvo, sorry.
Yeah.
And that factory does like house blends, special projects for people. He does some unique marketing with the woodworking and different packages like that. But his big thing is flavored or he kept on saying flavored tobacco. I said, no, it's infused. He goes, "That's the American thing. It's flavored tobacco." So he does like, he does all Rocky's Javas and
Okay.
everything there.
Okay.
And then also he does a big market in blunts, so, and so we were talking about that, how that market has grown as each state, becomes more, legal and everything that they can't
Yeah.
keep up. They can't keep up. He goes, "Yeah,
Oh,
we're just on the East
you
Coast
mean
right now."
those kind of blunts, not like
Well,
tobacco
no,
blunts.
not with just the papers.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay. Okay.
tobacco
Just
blunts,
oh
like the
wow.
shell,
Okay.
so that they
Yeah.
pack the
So
pot in it.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hmm. Uh, uh, and then that night was the formal night. Everyone dressed up to the nines. Ended up sitting at the table with Agrinosa, that table.
Oh, very cool.
It was all their factory people and everything. And the guy I was sitting with, he had a Supreme Leaf. And he goes, "Oh, I never had this. This is really good." And then the lady next to me, hits me. He goes, "That's his cigar," And it ended up being the owner of Agrinosa, which spoke very little, English, but they had Fabian. Remember Fabian from with
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah. He used to be with Drew
Agrinosa?
Estate, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he was there. He was actually at the same hotel, so I ran into him a couple times. But yeah, we were just then they were able to have a conversation,
Did you
and then
wait? Did you tell him that you did the Malort with him at PCA?
oh yeah, he remembered. He remembered.
Okay, okay. Every
Yeah,
once in
he's
a
great.
while, I'll come across like an Instagram reel or something like that about Malort, and I'll send it to him and Terrence just to like
Yeah,
gently remind him, like, hey, you made me try this shit. So yeah.
yeah. Well, there was a big thing with the last big freeze I showed in the picture. They had a tanker full of Malort. They're spraying it on the road to melt it.
Oh God, that's probably a better use of it
Yeah.
than drinking it. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. And then he mentioned they have something else coming this year from that Chicago rep. So
No, Lord.
we'll see what comes about. Yeah,
That's spooky. Okay. So,
yeah,
well, cool.
yeah. So that was then. And so of course the first flight. So we had the formal party, and they're picking us up to bring us back to Managua at 2 o'clock in the morning. So went back, basically showered, laid down, got out, caught the bus, got on the plane, made it all the way home, no problem. So I was home Saturday night.
There you go. No problems with the travel. That's good.
No. Yeah.
I was expecting some sort of like hellacious, like, I made it back to the States, but then this went wrong, and I had to jump all over the country before I finally made it. So,
And it was funny because everyone was getting notices because a lot of people were flying to Charlotte, to different places, and those places were all shut down. They're like, they end up staying for another 3 days down there. And then,
Yeah.
which ended up the storm was a little bit later, so they got stuck longer. So they finally got home like Wednesday or something.
When would you have what day was that you would have been coming back? That would have been
26. I don't have my calendar in front of me.
23rd is a Friday? Was it a Friday?
No, it was Saturday morning.
Oh, so the 24th. So yeah, so
Yeah.
you were coming back right when the freaking giant snow and ice and everything was hitting everybody. Okay,
Yep.
so you're doing
Yep.
that while I'm down in Florida, chilling out and being warm in the only part of the United States that was like warm at that point. Okay, all right. Now I understand why. Boy, then you did get lucky with travel. Then, if you were flying back that day and you made it back all the way
Big time.
to
Yeah.
EP,
And I'm like,
no
okay,
issues there.
they're like, oh, why don't you just go on this other day? And it's like, you know what? Let me get to Miami. I'll feel
get back in the States.
I can always make it work. I have plenty of options, then. But Nicaragua, there's not a whole lot of flights coming in and out. Everyone flew through Houston or Miami. And
Okay.
that was pretty much it. So, so my takeaway for the whole thing, definitely, I mean, if you love cigars and have never been on a factory tour, that's a key thing. You're going to get your fill of fields, but you really get an understanding of, when they say 300 hands touch the tobacco before you start smoking it, it's true. I mean, it's so labor intensive, and yeah, it's something else. But definitely, the food was very good. Oh, so one night they had shrimp, which was, I'm excited. I love shrimp.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I take the first bite and I'm like, this ain't right. Something's not right on it.
Uh-oh.
So I put it down, and then I asked the next day, I go, and then I had a little GI disturbance overnight, but it was there and gone. But next day I'm asking, did anybody? And it's like, no, it smelled and tasted funny, but I didn't have any problems. So the following night, the next night, same thing, different type of shrimp and everything. And it's like, maybe it's this part of the Gulf that they're getting the shrimp from. Maybe it's different. And I'm like, I'm not chancing it. And that. So Richard Lord had his shrimp and he was sick for 2 days. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he was a trooper. He pulled through, and there's a couple things that he didn't go to. Like one night, the one night dinner, he's like, I'm tapping out. I'm just going to stay back. But
that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, man. I haven't done I'm trying to think. I've used my passport like maybe once, and that was to like somewhere in the Caribbean. But realistically, like that's what I've heard is that you just got to watch what you eat. Like I think Hank was talking about with his trip last year to Puro Sabor, the vegetables, the salad and the fruit or the lettuce. He was like, don't mess with the lettuce, and he had some rules. And but see, I'm not a seafood guy, so I wouldn't have even attempted the shrimp. That would have been an instant like, no, yeah. I'm out. So yeah. But
the meat, the steaks, I mean, they had tenderloin, and that one day, the tenderloin that we had, I was cutting it with a fork. It was so good. I think it was beef, but it's a big, beef country. So,
yeah.
But it was really good. But just top notch. They, the tour guides and everything went above and beyond. The bus drivers, just getting through some of these narrow roads, I'm totally impressed. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, but new appreciation for Villiger and also Plasencia. So we smoked that one day. I quite a few Plasencia cigars, all different kinds and everything, and they just that connection that you have with these people. They're they and the pride that they have in their product, and with the farm and everything also there. So they really go all out. So thank you again to
awesome.
Villiger and Renee for putting that out there. Got some brand loyalty here, so it was
No,
it was good.
that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that you had a good time. And I just want to, I want to put a period at the end of the sentence by asking this one specific question, because it's one of these things that I think people do have concerns about sometimes when they hear about these events going on in these other countries, and they think, oh, that sounds fun, but would I be safe going there? So I guess my overall as an American traveling alone, granted to a formal event, an organized, multi-day
Mhm.
event, um, your safety level that how did you feel about that?
A 10 out of 10. So safe across the board. I mean, even when I was at the hotel, it was like, oh, do I want chicken and rice today? No, I'm going to go. There's like, they have a KFC fried chicken. It wasn't KFC. It was whatever Nicaraguan brand it was. It's like, I walked, half mile down the road and, I felt nothing. People are just going to work, doing that. So it was, yeah, the closest I came to, I don't know, awkward situation or odd, but of course, anyway, so I was getting off the bus, walking back to the hotel, and this guy comes up and he goes, he was trying to sell tours or whatever, and I go, no, 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 I'm going back to, I'm done and everything. He goes, no, I'm trying to learn English. Can we just have a conversation and everything? So I'm
Oh,
like, you know what? Yes, well, I'll try my, so we sat down in the park and, and he was telling, like his story and what he's doing and everything. And then at the end, that's when I walked up. He goes, can you just take me? I don't want money, but can you just take me to the store to get some bread and some meat? And I'm like, you lost me right there. Nope, I'm not. You have a great
yeah,
day. Best of luck. And
yeah.
left. But I mean, it wasn't. But we had a nice conversation for like a half an hour. Just about the area, what it's like to live there, and everything. So, but
Was
it
this
is a
English? Was this English good?
poor. It was very good.
Well, see,
Yeah,
there you
he was
go.
asking on
So,
certain words. Yeah,
okay.
mostly the slang. That he, they try and like in Spanish there's so many ways to say different things. So
Yeah.
anyways, we
Well,
yeah,
that's
so
any
that was
lang
the only
that's
incident. No.
yeah, that's the thing. That's any language. I mean, the
Yeah,
slang will always identify you as the person who is the this is my native language versus this is a learned language kind of thing.
yeah. And then, then when I was looking for the one day I was out of cigars and I needed to find a place, and I'm like, oh yeah, the store right there. There, when they say cigars, it's the little exports, the little
Okay.
cigarettes in that, the cigarellos, the little ones in that. It's
Yeah, the
like
little guys.
not what I was looking for, but yeah, okay, thank you. But yeah, English, especially in Granada, you know, over half the people spoke English. So yeah, it was,
I would feel
but
like in a country like that, they'd almost, as much as I hate to say it, it's kind of almost like if you want to get by, with tourism and everything coming in and whatnot, you almost have to,
yeah,
to a degree. Which feels very privileged on my part to say that like all these other countries have to know my native speaking language in order to like get by and all that, but let's be real, man, when you look at the stack up of the countries in the world and where the money is, I mean, if you want the American dollar, you need to speak the American English.
yep. Managua, they were cool with U.S. cash. Granada, pick up the caballeros or whatever they're called, just for that. And then, what I wanted to do was at Roma Craft, you could buy the intemperance or whatever. They had wheels of $3 a cigar, which is a good price. They're a $10 cigar.
I
But
was gonna
anyways, we
say
never
that's a
made it.
great deal.
Yeah, and we didn't have that opportunity, our group, to go to that factory or go by there. But I would like to see maybe just to have that, because there's a bar there. What is it called? It's a sports bar that everyone gravitates to by the soccer field, and I would have rather had one more day in Esteli so that you could go out, go to the different factories, because people from, I mean, when we were at Placencia, there was people from other, not just private guys, going in there to do that. I would have loved to, gone to, at least got the cigars, because I do buy a lot of them. So, but they were really pushing the Mazalanta. That was their big brand, the Roma Craft. So we got those at different events, but it means the worker or something. So his tribute to all the people that work in the fields and rollers and everything. So, but really good cigar. But the only time, getting back to your thing regarding the security and everything, or, feeling safe, you didn't see a police presence around. Only that one night when they had the president's brother-in-law or brother, they had security that were checking cars coming into the area. They basically had a vest and you had to show your ID or whatever. But it wasn't like backed up or anything. But that was the only night that I really saw anything. And, of course, me looking for a shortcut to get whatever, just kind of, I was fine. I didn't feel unsafe. And it's families, it's very, you recognize that how much, if they're working at a vendor booth, it could be grandma, the brother, everyone working there. So, and, of course you have a little bit of, the begging of the, like the kids, selling. It's not like Mexico where they're trying to sell you chiclets or anything. They have something else. I forgot what it was, but one kid, I was sitting outside the hotel on a step, and this little kid sits down next to me, and he was dirty, and it looked like he put water, so it looks like tears, and he was like, asking for money, dinero, and everything. And the person at the desk, and I'm like, no. And she walks out, looks at him, and does a little thing with her fingers like this to move along.
Yeah.
And he got up and left. And so I learned that. So if you're in there and you have beggars, just go like that. It's kind of universal to move along. So,
all right, that's good to know. I mean, gotta be nice to know that if that's universal, like everywhere, not just Nicaragua.
Yeah, it would be great.
You could use that in Las Vegas, walking along the strip there, be like, no.
Move along. What was with what was the other thing? I'll think of it. No biggie. So,
okay. Well, no, I'm super glad you had a fun time. So I'm gonna ask because I haven't smoked shit this week. So I'm gonna ask what out of everything that you smoked, what would you say were your top cigars that you had? And if you want to limit it to just while you're there, or if you want to expand it to while you were there and what you brought back, because obviously you couldn't have tried everything while you were there. So
no. And the thing was, Placencia I really like, but the price point is not like it's an everyday smoke.
I was going to say, when you said that you had a lot of Placencia cigars that day, I'm thinking to myself, well, shit, man, that took your dollar cost average for the year up quite a bit just that one day. And, whatever. So, yeah, that's a good day, especially if you're getting a bunch of samples.
Yeah. I mean, they were all, great cigars. And we tried everyone except for they didn't have any of that. What's that new one with the blue that's on the highest point?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God. No, the cord is long. Hang on. I can figure this out. Hang on. I can tell you this. Yes. Maybe. That would be the Placencia Alma de Cielo.
Yes. So anyways, that was the only one that we really didn't have. We had, the other thing, the cool molds with how they make the hexagon cigars.
Yeah.
So I guess I had a good, because they're medium with good flavor. And it's like, I just really liked it. then the 1888 I really like by Villiger. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a high dollar cigar, but for every day, so I get 2 hours out of it. So it's a good cigar. I like it. And then because I had, well, as you saw, the Capitan, smoked a lot of those, and then a lot of the
Yeah.
Roma Crafts. So yeah. So remember you tasked us with writing down all our cigars, and
Yes. Yes. Have you been doing
I
so?
I have been doing so
Good for
very
you.
diligently
Good for
every day.
you.
Yep. So I got my January filled out. I'll put
You're gonna love that data at the end of the year, man. You're gonna look at that. If you do it like I did, you're gonna look at it and you'll look at it and figure out all these different things, and it's really fascinating to go back at the end of the year and look at it and figure out, like, okay, what was this all about? Oh, okay. And you learn.
why that, and then if I was gifted a cigar, because some of the guys that I met from one of the guys I met, anyways, I got invited to his daughter's wedding. He is
Oh shit.
Yeah, which I'm excited about. It's in Atlanta in September, I think, beginning of September. And it's going to be a traditional Indian wedding, which I've never been to. And I heard they're, balls out, awesome. So I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to that. So he invited us out to that. And then one of the guys that was in the group, one of the groups I was hanging out with, he has a shop out in Cave Creek, north of Phoenix. And I met him years ago and everything. We have a mutual friend. It was just weird, meeting him there. And he's having a bourbon and cigar weekend type thing coming up in March. So anyways, it was just good. Oh, then that guy from Cave Creek, Larry is his name, and I forgot the name of his shop. I should probably give him a shout out. It's only shop in Carefree or Cave Creek area, but he gave me. They were talking about. I asked him, what's selling good? He has a different market. He has, most of the people that live in there are all like millionaires and retired and everything. But he said the biggest seller right now for him is, and he can't get enough of them, is the My Father Blue. Not the Le Bluge, but the
Boy,
blue.
no, I'll tell you, those are kind of hard to come by. So, like, there's been there's a couple of places that I've come across that have them, and typically what they have are empty boxes. I did
Mhm.
manage to find. There was one place that I tracked one down, and I got I got the Toro, um, and then it was a smoke shop. I thought it was going to be like a vape shop kind of thing like
Yeah.
that, but I just went in on a whim, and it was down there by the Staples in Palm Coast,
Okay.
and it was in the same little strip mall, and they had a wall of cigars in there along with all the vapey potty shit and whatever
Yeah.
else, but they had some of the blue in the Robusto. And they had it for like $13, which that's the other thing. Everywhere I've seen the blue, it tends to be, in my opinion, a little overpriced. It's a great cigar,
Yeah.
a really good cigar. The one or two that I've had, but I feel like maybe because it's hard to come by right now, like I like the Total Wine, just 2 minutes from my house, they have a spot for it.
Mhm.
For a Toro, they're wanting 18.95, and I'm like,
Oh,
is it
wow.
really a $19 Toro? I don't know.
Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
wanting, and I think they were wanting like maybe like 17.95 for the or 16.95, either way for the Robusto. I got the Robusto for $13 at this smoke
Yeah.
shop. So I'm like, well, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
That's crazy. Because anyways, he gifted me one, and I'm like, oh, this is very. Yeah, I think it was because it was Honduran. And I go, oh,
Yeah,
this is very Aladino-ish, tasting,
yeah,
But
ish.
then I figured out it was, yeah, ish,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had one there. And then this past weekend, we were down in St. Augustine and went to this little shop called Isabella's. So if you ever
Okay.
go in there, it's her house basically, and they have a humidor and some sitting area and an outside bar. And I walked in there and I found the blue for I think $11 for a Toro.
Oh, now that's a deal. That's a deal.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, for a small shop, that's fine. So sat down and had that. And then, Island Jim's, you know who I'm talking about, Island
Yeah.
Jim
He's
Cigars.
got the Leaf and Bean in
So
St.
anyways,
Augustine there.
Leaf and Bean and
Yeah.
and also in
Well,
Pittsburgh.
yeah, yeah.
Pittsburgh,
Well, of
yeah.
course, that's the
So
big one. The one down at St. Augustine's is newest one. It's smaller and more
yeah,
low key, from what I gather. But yeah,
yeah. It's a nice little shop. I spent a lot of time last year at his shop. But anyways, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I'm like, this lady comes walking in with this big bag, and I'm like, gosh, you look, how you see people and weren't sure. Anyways, Island Jim's wife that I met with Trey Mack in Kentucky. And she was coming
that's
in.
funny.
They needed some more cigars, and she brought them over to him. So
That's funny.
yeah,
That's
so
funny.
small.
Hey, so you mentioned near Cave Creek. So you said something about Carefree. I googled
Great sticks and
Cave Creek, Arizona. Sticks Golf and Cigar Lounge and Carefree.
yeah,
Is
that's
that
it.
the place? All right.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got a great
So
Google rating. It's 4.9 stars. So I mean, like, it's
oh,
like, really
it,
awesome Google rating there. So
So yeah, so the story behind that, we're over in Cave Creek and Carefree are like right next to each other. I mean, you can
okay.
walk, into the other town. It's just little retirement communities, wild, they have a rodeo there, So anyways, I'm like, okay, let's stop at a cigar shop, So we're walking in, and we have a friend that lives out there. He's a part-time realtor, comedian, and everything. We were walking in, and they had he was going to be there the next night doing a comedy show at the Cigar Lounge. So, anyways, we surprised him and everything, but I got to meet him there. Great little shop, and I'm just looking at my schedule. I might take a run out there for the festival. He goes, "Yeah, do the VIP. We have a nice catered dinner and all that stuff." So, kind of like Pulpit Fest, but Phoenix. So,
Yeah.
anyways, but we'll see. But I'm
Well,
supposed
there you
to be
go.
going out to Vegas for March Madness, but we'll see.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's a tough life. But just to let you know, I do have to work a ton at the airport because I took a month off from working there, and I just traded shifts. So now it's like I work tomorrow night, I work Saturday, I work Sunday. So
It's
I'm
catching up
making
to
up all
you.
my. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it'll be fine. It's warming up, so we're not out there in negative 20-degree wind chill factors.
Yeah, I would think that would be nice.
So what have you been watching?
Well, I was going to get to that, but
Oh,
before I
you might
do,
do the intro.
well, I will,
Sorry.
but
Oh.
I want to ask you about your cigar. How is your cigar?
Oh. Well, I don't mean how long have we been on? I know I've been talking, but I continually smoke. So
An
I'm about
hour
halfway
20.
done.
We're at an hour 20 on the board right now. So
Yeah, I
now
probably got another half an hour.
I was going to say you're getting close to 2 hours out of that thing. So, and it's good.
Yeah. Very, very good. I'm liking it. It's a medium, but it has a little pepper through it.
Yeah.
It hasn't really changed a whole lot throughout that I've noticed. I wasn't paying close attention, but I think they're gonna have a winner, on it. So looking forward to see what it's called, and
Excellent.
try some more.
All right. Excellent. Well, I don't know if you're going to actually hear this drop or not, but I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then we'll do the Villiger report.
It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to villigercigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation.
That's one of those things that in post, when you watch this stuff later, folks, it'll look like we're sitting and listening to that. But in reality, we just sat and blissfully looked in each other's eyes for a little bit. Anyway, so Shawn, what have you been watching lately? Or have you even had time to watch anything lately?
Oh, of course. I always make time. So on the plane, watching different shows. I started watching. I think I still have like a half an hour left of. Is it called Grand Prix? the new show with God, what's the guy's name? Anyways, it's about the racing, the Grand Prix racing cars. I thought it was called Grand Prix.
It might be. I'm not.
Sorry.
That's not
Okay.
something that I'm familiar with. Hang on. Let me.
I'm just trying to think who is married to
Is
Angela
it like?
Jolie.
Oh, Brad Pitt. Right?
Is it Brad?
So
Yeah, I think it might be Brad Pitt in it. He's a
so
race
it's a
driver.
yeah,
Yeah,
F1. It wasn't Grand Prix, it was F1.
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 Yeah. That was a
So
good
yeah,
movie. I actually ended up seeing that twice at the drive-in last summer because I went one time just to see that. And it was actually really good. It was entertaining. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's not like it's like gonna set the world on fire and win a bunch of awards, but it was entertaining. But then the second time, it was the double feature. I think Superman was the first one, and then that was the second movie. And I'm like, shit, I'll watch that again. And so I ended up sitting and watching it twice, sitting out with my cigars and just watching cars go around fast. So I was cool with that.
yeah. I told my wife about that. Your drive-in theater and
Yeah.
everything. She's a big movie person, So I go, how cool would that be? She goes, yeah, I'm all about it. So yeah.
Does she
So I
like
might
the
be calling
movie?
you next time we go.
You should. So does she like the movie Grease
Yeah, I think
with
so. I mean, it's a
John? Well, I don't know if she's like a big fan of the movie, like John Travolta and what's her face, Olivia Newton-John, or but like I don't know. All right. Well, they're doing like a thing sometime in May. They've got the director of the movie and like a couple of different actors coming to the drive-in, and like they're gonna do like a little meet and greet, and then they're gonna show Grease, and then the other movie for the double feature I think is Xanadu, which is like the other Olivia Newton-John
Olivia
thing,
Newton-John.
and I think I but there's preset tickets for that. You got to buy in advance, and those are definitely more expensive than the normal drive-in experience. I'm not the biggest Grease fan, so I'm not going to be all like, "Oh my god, I'm going to spend $40 to go watch Grease with the director and some random person who played a pink lady," but whatever. But I will say I don't know when they're doing it. I need to find out the dates, but they typically do a marathon one weekend out of the year, and they call it their like Iconathon.
Okay.
And so, like, what they'll do is on Friday night. So there's two screens. So on Friday night, you'll have a triple feature on one screen and a triple feature on the other screen. Totally different, six totally different movies. And they're all old. They're old movies, right? Then the next day, Saturday, it's another triple feature on both screens, six totally other different movies. So over the course of the weekend, they're showing what, like 12 movies. And it's kind of one of those things you got to pick your screen based off the three that you want. And my problem is I always end up being like, I want two from this one and one from that one, but you can't.
Can you move?
Well, you're not supposed to because
Okay.
that tends to sell on a normal weekend. Yes, because it may not be sold out or something like that, and it's not a big deal. But like on something like that, I think they discourage the moving because there's more people, and they don't want the traffic congestion of people
Oh, yeah.
moving. Um,
Sense.
but and also it's got to time out just right sometimes. Like if this first movie over here is an hour and a half, but this first movie on this screen's 2 hours, you gotta, yeah. But anyway, but that's usually a lot of fun. They usually show some really, really good movies in that. Last year, I had to miss it because it was the exact same weekend as Pulpit Fest. This year, though, with Pulpit Fest moving to October, I will not have that issue because by October, they're doing slasher marathons and stuff like that. So,
All the Halloween stuff.
yeah, that's what when Luke came into town and he and I went over there, that's what we ran into. It was a slasher marathon, and that's how we ended up sitting through Terrifier 3, which I will never sit through another one of those movies again if I have my way. I mean, that was beyond gore for gore's sake. That was disgusting. And anyway, but whatever. So
Well, anyway, she looked it up. She goes, "Oh, did you know this is the #1 drive-in theater in the nation?" And
2 years in a row, baby. Oh yeah,
that's great. And what else? Yeah, just movies. Oh, so it finished up Landman. Yeah,
okay.
that's a good series. Have you got into it?
Not yet. Treymac has been on me about it, and it is on my list because I like the Taylor Sheridan shows. He's got that other Mayor of Kingstown. That's the one that I'd been watching, and so I did finally catch up and finish that. But no, I haven't made it to Landman yet.
Yeah. Anyways, very good. I love Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah,
he's great. And then oh god, his dad in the show, the old guy with the big beard, deep voice. Sam Elliott.
That's it. Yep.
And then I guess the final one I have to bring up, which I believe have you started yet?
I knew. So no, I have not started the new season of Bridgerton. I have been actually slowly making my way through the kind of side story, that Queen Charlotte.
Yep.
I'm down to one episode left of Queen Charlotte. And so yeah. And then at that point, then it's on to season 4. I hate how they split season 4 into 4 episodes and then another 4 episodes in like a month or something like that. And this is not the Netflix way. The Netflix way is supposed to just be drop all the episodes and let me binge it. This is bullshit. They did it with Stranger Things season 5, and now they're doing it with this, and I hate it. So, no, this is crap. So no, I'm trying to wait until the remaining 4 hit, and then at that point I can just work my way through it and whatever. Although it's getting hard because I don't know, my algorithm on social media has apparently determined that I have watched this, and so now it's starting to feed me Bridgerton, posts and things from pages, and I'm like, no, I don't want spoilers. I don't want this. So.
So I can't wait for you to watch. I mean, it's funny. I gave you so much shit before for watching it.
I know you did. And then I find out that you've watched it.
Well, it's a nice show that we can watch together because of the late 1800s and everything. And then it did have a cool story. I don't know. I think
every once in a while there's a little bit of boobs, and that's boobs. I mean, that's nice and whatever. But yeah. Yep. So okay.
So we're debating on finishing it. So that's how much it jumped the shark.
So that's interesting you say that. Erica's only watched the first episode.
Okay.
And she told me that she's like, I'm not into this season yet.
No.
And I have kind of wondered, because I'll be honest, I thought season 3 was right. Season 3 was the one with Penelope and Colin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What was season 2? Oh, that's right. Season 2 was the older brother. There were times in season 3 that I kind of was like, oh, fuck, this is, and I've been saying this since the start. Every season, even including Queen Charlotte, these episodes are an hour long, but they each feel like 10 fucking years long. Like, I'm watching this and I'm like, God, I feel like I've been watching this for 2 hours. Like, how much more time in this episode? Oh shit, there's still 35 minutes. I've only been watching this for 25 minutes. It's like, for whatever reason, it feels like it takes forever to finish an episode, but it's only an hour. And to me, saying that, I would not blame somebody for thinking, oh, so it's boring. It's not. It's not boring. It's not a bad show. It just, for whatever reason, it just goes on forever. And that was kind of my issue with season 3, is I felt like they could have tightened it up a little bit and, whatever. And then I saw that they're already announcing seasons 5 and 6 with what Bridgerton kids those are going to follow. Apparently, one of those is going to be Eloise, and then the other daughter. So it's like, okay, I don't know. I just I have my thoughts. I have my thoughts.
It'll be interesting. We'll probably finish it, but yeah, it was like
I
stretch
kind
it
of
too
feel,
much.
and again, this is somebody who hasn't watched any of season 4 yet, so I don't even know how it plays out. But without getting into spoilers of who it is, I kind of feel like the revealing of who Lady Whistledown is kind of takes a little bit away from the show.
Yep.
I think that was I think that should have been an at the end of the show, like way at the end, not the end of season 3. I feel like it's like, okay, well now we've got a minimum of 3 more seasons that Netflix is committed to. And there's technically one more Bridgerton kid after that. There's 7 kids. So I mean, so we could have 7 seasons of this. But of those 4, we're gonna know who Lady Whistledown is, which kind of takes away the whole point of the Lady Whistledown gossip rag character, It's like, what's the point of
Yep.
this?
Yep.
So
That's what I was saying. It kind of jumped the shark, but
yeah, I think
we'll see.
yeah, okay.
Just take it for what it is. It's an hour of entertainment. Are they dumping? Did they dump 4, or is they doing it every week? One episode.
No, they dumped 4, and then they're waiting
Okay.
till February 26th. I feel like it's the 26th.
Okay.
To dump the remaining 4. So it's like they're doing the same, because Stranger Things did the same bullshit. They dumped like 3 or 4 episodes at Thanksgiving, maybe it was 3 episodes at Thanksgiving, 4 episodes at Christmas, and then the finale was at New Year's. And it's like, just fucking give me all of it at one time and let me just binge this thing and be done with it. Like, why am I having to like wait? So I don't know. Whatever.
Figure it out. Something. It's a conversation piece, and it's time that you can watch together.
Yeah.
Have you watched? So we not documentaries. I guess it is. It's all real life, but because Nuremberg is coming out, the movie.
Okay. No, I haven't.
They did like a documentary. I think it was like 4 or 5 episodes of basically this one reporter that was there from the beginning of World War II up to the Nuremberg trials and everything. And it's like real life pictures and some of the history and that. So that if you like history, that's a good one to watch.
That'd be cool.
So,
yeah.
So it was.
I saw that Netflix has a thing coming out in the beginning of March. It's like produced by Steven Spielberg and narrated by Morgan Freeman, but it's called The Dinosaurs, and it's essentially like a miniseries. It kind of feels like one of those like Planet Earth kind of miniseries where they follow the animals and shit and everything, but they're gonna like go into the prehistoric world, and it's like dinosaurs and shit. So I'm like, all right, I'll watch Dinosaurs, narrated by Morgan Freeman. Why not?
It'd be interesting as long as it's not animated and it's the Land Before Time or something.
Well, no. I mean, it looks cool, but again, I here's my whole thing with the dinosaur shit. Like there's all this scientific stuff that's coming out, like, oh, this one might have had feathers, and this one, blah blah blah, and all that, and like I saw a thing the other day talking about how T-Rex may have not only had feathers, but he may have like been poofy, to where he almost might have been like soft and poofy looking as he's like running at you to eat you. It's not like T-Rex from like Jurassic Park. It's like he might have been like a big poofy bird. Like I don't know, like think like, yeah, I can't think of a bird specifically to compare to, but he might have have feathers and might have been big and poofy.
Maybe we should get some ember and find some mosquito blood and recreate it and see how that would go.
Yeah. Oh, well, no. There was that one company that brought back those, was it Timberwolves or something like that? There was
wolves or something.
Yeah. And apparently either they or somebody else, I read an article about this, is already or has been working on both saber-tooth tiger and woolly mammoth, because the woolly mammoth they can take from elephants and blah 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 and all that and whatever. And so like there are companies out there actively working on developing basically cloned recreations of saber-tooth tigers and woolly mammoths. So like don't think for a moment, Shawn, that we're not going to like eventually get back to the point that we're making fucking dinosaurs, you know? I mean, like, you know, we learned nothing from those movies. Nothing. Hell, if you read the Epstein files, apparently he's got a cloning farm where he's cloning people. Like they're trying to make, I'm not even joking, man. This is fucked up. They were working on trying to clone like, you know, the perfect worker, if you, in air quotes, if you know what I mean. And but also organ harvesting. So like let's say Mr. Epstein needs a new liver. Bam, clone him out a new liver and all this shit and everything. Hell, apparently that's a whole thing Putin and some of these other leaders already have. We are so behind in all this shit. So yeah. But no, I'm telling you, you're joking about the amber, but that may be more on track than you think.
We got to get Trey Mac, because I also went down another rabbit hole with the Book of Enoch and Onatempe and all this. And it's like, oh, you know, it's like there's so much that we don't know. So it's like,
yeah.
Well,
so Mike Brinker, who, you know, you at least know of him. He's been on the show before, and he'll be at Pulpit Fest. He texted me the other day, and he gave me an idea. He said in his text, I think a promotion for the show could be Ask Trey Mac. People emailing questions on any topic and ask Trey Mac when he appears. And because, you know, he's always, he reads a lot. He's always got his thing. So I forwarded that to him, and Trey Mac enthusiastically said yes. So I guess for those of you listening, we can kind of soft start this. So feel free to email me at Nick at cigarpulpit.com, and with your Ask Trey Mac questions. And, you know, I'll probably forward them to him so that he can have some time to generate the proper, the answers and whatnot. Because I don't want to spring it on him and be like, you know, tell me all about your thoughts on, dinosaur cloning. And I mean, he may have some right off the top of his head, but I think it would be better when he's prepared. I mean, the moon thing that he did, he was very prepared for that. And I feel like that was better than, you know, some of the other things. So I just, I want to, So there you go. We'll have Ask Trey Mac.
Besides the dong, I got to get a catch up on him to see if he's still going to.
He does still buying dong. I don't think he's buying any more dong. I think he capped out. He bought millions of dong, dude. I mean, like, he and I talked about it. I think he could live like a prince in Vietnam for like a month. At this point, but the really nice part for him, it hasn't hit the way he thought it was going to hit yet. But apparently dong, believe it or not, has done better than the dollar, to where if he goes and exchanges in his dong at this point, it's not better by much. It's a smidge. He makes a smidge of money, just a smidge by trading it in. It's kind of fucked up
for him. He took the risk, and it's not. I mean, it's
here's the thing.
Fun. It's kind of like buying Bitcoin here.
Dude, he could trade half of it in and get pretty much, get a bunch of money back, and then take the other half that he still has remaining, and he could have a like luxury 2-week vacation in Vietnam. I'm talking like living like royalty, luxury 2-week vacation in Vietnam. Which, let's be real, you and I both know that just means a bunch of lady boys. Just saying.
Don't judge.
I'm not judging. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
No, I think, I mean, he's making big strides in, dating within his age group. I mean, having that realization that you're, 50-year-old man and, just stoutly and bald, that you kind of limit yourself,
He's like he's like 40.
Oh my God, he looks horrible.
I was gonna say, I'm like, dude, I'm older than he is. he's like 40 or 41. I think he's only like 40 though, but yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. No, his
Buddy,
whole thing is he just wants to have
well,
a child. He wants to have kids, and dating a 40-year-old, it kind of like eliminates the prospect of kids a lot of times, unless you're happy with somebody else's kids. And I think he wants his own, so that's why he pursues the 20 somethings.
yeah.
But yeah, the problem is though, the further you get away from that, the harder it's gonna be to snag that.
Yeah.
So,
But a lot of people are holding off on getting married and everything. So maybe, who knows?
never
Yeah.
know.
Another event that's coming up. I think I might be going back to that Kentucky HERF. So if anybody
Oh,
is out there that's in the pulpit planning on going, drop it in on Facebook there to
when
let me
is
know.
that again? My old
It's
Kentucky HERF or
begin.
whatever.
Yeah, I think it's April, beginning of April, maybe. It's whenever it's.
I'm looking now.
I put it in my
Just
calendar.
give
But
me a
anyways,
minute.
I was just thinking about that. And then
Well, that doesn't help me one bit. I don't know. I'm
pull up 2025.
trying to find it. I don't know. Is this it? May 9th and 10th?
Is it May? Okay. Yeah, it's graduation weekend for colleges. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
May 9th and 10th. Okay. Wait, is it? No, that's just Friday and Saturday, May 9th and 10th. And May 9th and 10th this year is a Saturday,
yep.
Sunday. So this might be 2025. I don't
So it
know,
must be
dude.
the 8th.
It's kind of hard to
Oh,
find.
okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I was
whatever.
just thinking because
Oh
this
yeah,
is a
this is
cigar
20
podcast.
this is 2025. Yeah. So May 9th and 10th was 2025. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's that
so I don't
first.
know,
They
whatever.
just announced the date, and I was putting on the calendar. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, 8th and 9th this year. So,
There you go. Oh yeah.
So
There.
what else? I mean,
I
besides
should
Thomas the
have
Train.
So sitting around being sick, obviously I did have some time to catch up on some things, but it's kind of one of those like I was in and out of sleep a lot, and so I didn't want to like commit to much. That's like, dude, I say I have one episode left of Queen Charlotte. Realistically, I should probably go back and redo episode 5 because like I was in and out on that one a lot. So like I probably should, in all honesty, go back and do that.
Yeah.
But when I'm sick, I like to find shows that like I've watched a ton of times before. And if I fall asleep on one and wake back up and it's another one that's just auto played, then I'm good. And so this time I've been a total nerd and I've been running through Star Trek The Next Generation because I don't know. I've been entertained by that. Been watching that. There's a
Watch the new
podcast.
one, the Academy.
No, that's on my list, and I haven't gotten to that yet. They're trickling that bullshit out one episode at a time every week as well, and it's like I'm at least gonna let like I think there's 4 of them that have come out now, so I might give it a shot now that there's like a couple of them out at once. But like I don't want to jump on one episode and be like I want more, and then I gotta wait a whole nother fucking week. I always like to let a bunch build up. Um, but there's a podcast, and I don't know what the hell they're calling it now, but it's called The Greatest Generation, which caused them a lot of confusion in the beginning when they first started this thing like 10 years ago because everybody thought that it was like about World War II generation, but it was actually a podcast about Star Trek The Next Generation. It was 2 guys with a Star Trek podcast that are ashamed to have a Star Trek podcast. And so basically they're just there and they go episode by episode and just rip on the show. And it's the funniest freaking thing. And so I've been listening to that. I think I'm on like season 3 of that, which that's when I started watching some of season 3 when I got sick. That way, I had recently watched the episode when the podcast episode comes up. But yeah, so I don't know. I've been watching Star Trek.
Yeah. What is the other podcast you were mentioning regarding the Delilah? That's getting traction in other circles now.
Dude, it is a great podcast. I'm 2 episodes behind on it now. Killer in the Code is the name of that one. And or no, I'm only 1 episode behind on that. All right. But yeah, Killer in the Code. And I'm telling you, that one I am like super psyched to tell people about that one. That show has been really, really good. And if this dude did not find who the killer was, then the guy that he is pinned it on, like, has the most circumstantial amount of evidence on him you could ever imagine. Like, this has to be him, you know. It just has to be. But it's a super good show. I've been digging the hell out of that. And I always found the Zodiac to be really interesting for a lot of reasons. What?
Is it a podcast or on YouTube?
Podcast.
Okay.
So, I always found the Zodiac to be an interesting case, not just because that it wasn't ever like solved, but also the ciphers and sending it into the cops and there was just so much to it, and it was just so like theatrical, and you know, but then you were like, oh, but he killed people, but it wasn't like a ton of people. But now it's coming out like, oh yeah, it may have been a lot of people. We just didn't pin it on the Zodiac, but that guy may have been really busy between, 1940 something with the Black Dahlia all the way up to, the Zodiac and whatever. So yeah, it's really interesting. And what's interesting too is finding out all the different ties between the Black Dahlia case and the Zodiac killings, because then you're like, well, how did he get the name Zodiac? Well, you find that out in this podcast, and it's like, oh shit, that was like, and there's all those little things that when it all comes about, you're just like, oh my God, this makes too much sense for it to not be him. So anyway, yeah. Now, is it your wife that's really interested in the true crime stuff?
Yes.
I thought so.
True crime, missing persons.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, she's always working on different cases and trying to find things. Yeah.
So does she know about the show?
And then we're going actually. I told her about it, and she goes, "Oh yeah, well, I don't know all these people. I'm horrible at names, great at faces." But she's like, "Oh yeah, that was brought up before, And I go, "Well, there's a podcast that lays it all out," and I think she probably listened to it. She's always got something going on. So,
yeah. You said you were going somewhere?
Oh yeah, with all this, it's called PrimeCon. It's this year they have it at different places every year. They have different like the whole big was the kid that killed the college kids in Idaho. Anyways, they have little different cases. They come together and have speakers and the detectives that worked on the cases and everything. So it's a big thing. That's her big her pulpit fest of the year. She goes out there for like 3 or 4 days and just takes it all in, and yeah. So it's
cool though.
I don't pay to.
No, I think that's fun that they have like these like meetups and shit for like all these different interests and everything. I mean, I think that's fun. The library here in town just announced that they're starting up a true crime podcast club that'll get together like every week or something. And basically like they pick a podcast and like everybody that's in this club has to listen to it, and then they get together and talk and like, whatever. So it's like all these little true crime of, like interested people are coming together and solving stuff. or thinking they are.
If I ever go missing, just ask my wife where I am.
Dude, I used to say that about my ex-wife. I said, if I ever die, everybody needs to focus their immediate or disappear, I should say. Everyone needs to focus all of their concentration onto her because she watches so much true crime shit. She knows exactly how to get rid of me to where no one will ever find me. But I can guarantee you she did it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. So, oh. Well, very cool. Well, final thought on your cigar before I let you go here.
Worthy.
I'm sorry,
Boxworthy.
Boxworthy.
I'm really liking it. Oh,
So once
Boxworthy. Yeah.
once we find out what it is, you know, we
Go ahead.
can
Tell about it. It's definitely a Nicaraguan. Nice space, nice flavor. So you won't like it because it's box press, but get over it.
You know, it's funny. The list from last year definitely played out that I don't smoke as many box pressed as round. However, my list from this year, which granted I haven't opened this up in quite a while because whatever, but if I look at my list from this year, I've been tracking the shape, round or box press. I've added fields to the data, you know, coming up. And I'll tell you, box pressed is represented quite a lot in January. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cigars out of 52? Yeah, 14 cigars out of 52 were box press, which, I mean, it's what, 20%, give or take,
20%.
you know? That's a fairly high percentage for me, I think, you know? So, for what it's worth, box
Just because
press,
you don't gravitate it.
I don't. But like, what did I smoke that was box press? This will be interesting. Well, it'll be kind of a little cigar related. So there's a Blackbird Crow. There was an Aladino Maduro, because that only comes in box press, or at least, yeah, it was only in box press. Knuckle Sandwich Puro. That was one of the ones that we got at PCA last year. There was a Sin Compromiso. There was Perdomo 10th Anniversary Sungrown and a 20th Anniversary Sungrown because I had one of those Humipack, you know, Sungrown sampler things, you know. EP Carrillo Allegiance. The Villiger 1888 Grand Reserva. That's that red band, you know, one that you were talking about. Yep. The Padron Ruby Red. The two guys one. There was I have it listed as an 1888 Nicaragua, but it's you know what? We had the box press versions in the Pulpit Fest bag last year, so that's what that was. Aganorsa 20th anniversary, which you know, I'm not saying that if you liked the old version of the Wise Man from Foundation before you switch factories, that you should try the 20th anniversary JFR. But if you liked the old version of the Wise Man before you switch factories, you should try the JFR 20th anniversary. Just saying. Right. You know, the My Father Blue. There it is. I smoked that on January 20th. And oh God, what else? EP Carrillo Pledge, Foundation, the Olmec. And that was it. That was the last one, was the Olmec. So yeah, so I've had some box press cigars.
Okay. Try the Red Meat Lovers cigar. It's box press. If you haven't tried it yet, try it. You'll like it.
Okay.
So
I think I saw that at the Leaf and Bean when I was down there the other week. I feel like that was their cigar of the day. They had like a box of them up by the register, and like for like so much money, you got the cigar and a drink to accompany it. And but yeah, I didn't do it. I already picked out my cigars and whatnot, and I wasn't drinking, so
Yeah, give it a try. I mean, I was surprised how many people brought it to Nicaragua. There was several different groups that they were smoking the shit out of them. You know, I'm
well,
like,
Steve was down there,
you're
wasn't
going
he?
to get,
Yeah.
yeah. And what I heard from other groups afterwards, he did two of them. He did the Hoya tour and also his factory tour. And I ran into one night. He was sitting with a guy I met, just not being Steve. He was just talking normal, not being
Just chilling
I don't
out.
know. It's not arrogance. I mean, the guy knows his stuff. He was chilling out, having a drink. We talked to him for a little bit. It was just on general conversation like we are right now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there, but he does do that one. So it was good. One last funny story. So we're at Rockies, walking with Nimish, and I must have turned and I bumped into something and my cigar dropped into the dirt. And I'm like, oh shit. And he goes, well, he goes, well, I'll give you another one. And I go, nah, it's fine. It blew off the dirt that was on the mouthpiece, the mouth end of it. And I put it in and it was still going and everything. And I go, oh, it's like a Padron. He goes, yeah, that's not nice. You should say that.
It's earthy. Earthy. Yeah. That's funny.
Earthy. Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, dude, I'm so glad you had a good time, and I'm so glad that you made it through the whole experience without going into a Nicaraguan prison. And again, I would like to thank Renee and the fine folks of Villiger for providing this generous prize at Pulpit Fest, because I think it's really great that guys like you and Hank have been able to go down there and experience this and do it, and I think it's a wonderful thing. So I can't thank them enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to send Renee a message here probably tomorrow, just to thank them. I mean, you got to remember, for a small event, this is a huge prize. I mean, it's unbelievable. So, I mean, the cigars are great, and they're really building up in the U.S. and everything now. So, encourage everyone. If you love medium, the full cigars, 1888, and for a great medium that can be approachable by any smoker that has a little bit more oomph, the La Capitana, definitely, give them a try if you haven't, and definitely
and for those,
worth the box buy. And
for sure. And for those cold days, man, you can't beat the export.
No, it was funny because last year at that contest, I still have, we won that box of exports, which had, I don't know, 50 or whatever. I keep them in my car, all the time. So going home from the airport, I don't have, I got a half an hour, and it's a great half an hour stick. It's just, nice flavor. I prefer the brown one. What is that? That must be a Maduro. So definitely give those a try. I mean, they're inexpensive. Throw them in your car. You don't have to worry. I was worried about how cold it was and everything but they didn't crack. It doesn't, it's perfect. So,
I have
give it
some
a
in my
shot,
car
especially if you're short on time So definitely worth it. So is this going to air when Friday, or
this will be tomorrow
or next week?
Tomorrow.
Okay. Don't forget your Pinky.
Oh, I'll get it.
Does she have a fun fact?
She does, but here, I can attempt this while I'm on with you. I'll have to go back.
I don't want to throw you for a loop. You can.
No, it's fine. I'll have to go back for the sake of the listeners, and drop it. Oh God, where do I go for this? iCloud Drive. Sorry, I'll have to go back and drop it in later so that the listeners can hear it, because I can tell you right now, this is not going to come through properly for them to be able to hear it. But I think we can pull this off for you and I here.
Hey, it's your girl Pinky. Ready for a fun fact? Does your favorite sitcom use a laugh track? You won't be laughing when you find out that all shows use the same laugh track, and the laughs were recorded so long ago, all the people are dead. This has been Pinky, and I'll be back next time with more fun facts.
She has such uplifting fun facts.
This is very good. But I like the idea also, ask Trey Mac. So get the questions
See?
in. And
Exactly.
I really do. I mean, that Moon episode, I think I listened to it twice. And it's like,
You almost have to.
Yeah. And then you go back and then go down a rabbit hole again, and start pulling up, some indigenous Indians or whatever used to talk about the time before the moon, and so it's like, and it's perfect. And how can it be played? Yeah. So, yeah, I enjoy it. So.
Oh, he always sends me moon related stuff. It's funny, but he's definitely gone deep down the Epstein file rabbit hole here lately. Because what's been so fascinating is that it does splinter into so many other different conspiracy theories. And I always used to joke about Alex Jones, the InfoWars guy. And I was like, oh, fuck, he's so crazy and blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, and I'm not saying everything, because I disagree vehemently with his supposition that Sandy Hook was made up, but it's like, come on, dude, we're talking kids here. We don't need to be making that into a thing. But whatever. But unfortunately, there's a lot of things he's talked about that then are coming into play into these Epstein files. Pizzagate. That may or may not be a fake thing now. There's a whole lot of references to pizza in the Epstein emails and things like that. They used codes and they were not subtle about it. So, there's a lot of these conspiracies that he's been promoting for a while that suddenly don't quite seem so crazy when you really dig into the Epstein stuff. Yeah. So
I haven't even gone into it yet, and I'm afraid to, because there goes.
Oh, dude. It's hours, days. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, but I don't know. It's crazy, but anyway. Well, dude, thank you so much for taking time out. I appreciate, you taking time to tell us about the trip and everything, and I'm so glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity to let everyone know. And if anybody decides to go, please free to reach out to me. I can give you a call, and or listen to this episode again. You'll get all the full recap.
There you go. And then I guess I will see you for PCA
coming up April,
mid-April.
Yep, got the time off and ready to go.
Rapidly approaching, so
get the camera ready.
There you go. All right, man. We'll talk to you here soon.
Okay, sounds good. Good night, everybody.
And I really want to thank Shawn for taking time out of his day to tell us all about his trip, and it sounds like it was a wonderful time. I don't know. I don't know. I have this trepidation. I have this little thing in the back of my mind that's like, oh man, how would I do at a foreign country and blah, blah, blah. But it sounds like it was a pleasant time. It sounds like plenty of people spoke English and he was able to get by just fine. So, I don't know. It sounds like it was a very good time, and I'm happy he enjoyed it and was able to go. So once again, big thanks to Renee and the fine folks at Villiger for providing that trip as a prize at Pulpit Fest. Which, speaking of Pulpit Fest, I know tickets went on sale back around Thanksgiving time. But just for those of you who didn't get a ticket then, that maybe you're thinking about coming, October 1st through the 4th in Palm Coast, Florida at the Ash and Ale, I will be putting tickets back on sale later this year. And I will let you all know with plenty of advance notice as to when that sale is going to happen. And you can jump on board with that. But, don't, if maybe you're thinking, oh, I missed the sale, don't worry. You get in on it and we'll go from there. I don't know if Villiger is going to be donating this prize again, but, there's going to be cool stuff no matter what. So you'll want to come out to Pulpit Fest and have a good time. Well, it is that time for me to tell you that I am available on the socials. I am on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I am on Facebook with the Pulpit Parishioners Group, just celebrating 5 years of group fun on Facebook here lately. So that's been nice. We are on Twitter/X. You can watch this on YouTube and Rumble. And if you have questions, I need your calls on the Ask the Pulpit hotline. So you can give me a call on the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. Call in with your comments, questions, concerns, general thoughts, whatever you have that you want to share. I appreciate it. It helps me out when I have a solo show and I need to figure out, what I'm going to talk about. So, also, if you have not signed up for the Pulpit newsletter, also called the Cigar Chronicle, for those of you who got it in your email and maybe were like, what is this thing? It's my newsletter. So the Cigar Chronicle, we did put out our first edition the other week. You can head on over to cigarpulpit.com and a little pop-up window comes up there and you can sign up for that. I won't bombard you. You'll get like maybe one, maybe two if some big news breaks in a month. And it's just a fun newsletter with all kinds of different stuff that hopefully you find entertaining, but also might prompt a little conversation in your local cigar lounge. Share it with the people, forward it on and be like, hey, if you're interested in this, go to this website and sign up, that kind of thing. Spread the word, get your other cigar buddies, signing up for it so that, you can have conversations about everything that's in it. I like to find the articles that you can converse about. Otherwise, I think that's about it. Hopefully, the next time I see you, I will be smoking a cigar. I didn't want to do that today, with everything. I'm like 90%. I think I said this already. I'm 90%, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't strain it. So next time, hopefully, I will be able to smoke. I swear, between the weather and the illness and this and that and whatever, it's feels like it's been a while since you guys have gotten a really good view of my living room. If you're watching on the video side, living room and office area, because I have not been able to be out in the garage. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. This has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpits. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe and stay smoky.